I'm TV6 meteorologist Eric DeBroca, and here's a look at your latest weather on demand forecast. Well, after a nice looking day, especially across the southern tier of the UP, the clouds are returning, and notice off to the south and west, even some flurries that are trying to pop up into our neck of the woods. They're not going to produce much of accumulation, but could see a coating to maybe a couple tenths of an inch of snow in some spots, but really nothing to worry about, as temperatures broke the freezing mark today and across the south and east, especially with that sunshine. Temperatures were a little bit cooler across the north, where it was mainly cloudy skies all day, as we had a little disturbance across on the other side of the lake. 25 degrees was our high in Marquette, 27 in Munising, and 25 also in Ironwood. Well, that's all 2016 wrote, so let's take a look at some of the stats here. You may have noticed that it was a warmer than average year. You'd be correct in saying that. It was approximately 2.2 degrees above the normal, and actually this would be the warmest year since 2012. And looking back at the stats, how March was falling in April, it actually is no surprise to me, as seeing some of that research behind the warm, very warm spring, and due to the strengthening El Nino early on in the year. As far as rainfall, it also was very wet, as we had record floods in many locations across the west, which was way above even this number. But here at the Weather Service, we were 4.6 inches of rain above average, and really that would be the second wettest year since 2002. Actually, going back to all the weather records since 1872 they have in Marquette. I know it moved around a couple of times the location, but only this falls in like the 8 to 9 percentile range as far as wettest years on record. So it's definitely pretty surprising there. Temperatures not all that bad for this time of the night here in early January now. 30 in Munising. Everybody else were in the upper 20s across the south, and a little cooler than that across the west. 22s in Ironwood and Iron River. But let's look to the south and west, because that's exactly where our air mass or our temperatures are going to be coming from the next several days before we tap into some Arctic air later on in the week. 26 in Chicago, we're 36 in St. Louis. And as Gulf moisture is going to be coming up with the next storm system, Upper Michigan just cannot buy any luck here, as we're going to be on the warm side. At least most of the UP will be in the warm sector of this next storm. Well, this guy is gone. There's a low pressure system here, but it's this one right here that is starting to gather strength in northeastern New Mexico and the very border there of Texas and Colorado. And over the next 24 hours or so, it will gather strength and move across the north and east. And the center of the low will move pretty close to the western UP, and we can expect the heaviest snowfall to be in that area there. Maybe some advisories will be issued, but for the most of the area, rain and possibly some sleet will mix in, drastically cutting snow totals. So not a huge snowstorm for us again. We dodged the bullet one more time. Temperatures waking up tomorrow will be right around the low 20s, warmer along the shorelines. And then we break the freezing mark again, especially south and east, but right around 30 across Marquette. We hang on to the 20s though, places like Iron River. Then throughout the day on Tuesday, this is exactly why we get much warmer air as our winds go southerly, southeast component, and we're in the mid 30s. So a lot of rain mixed in with the snow there. The heaviest snow totals though will be in the Keweenaw Peninsula and areas even west of that. Your TV 6-day forecast now features an Arctic intrusion, something of the likes what we saw in December for like 10 days there. Same thing here. We go sub-zero a few nights next week, and very cold highs, not even approaching 10 degrees, as wind chills will be 20 even 30 degrees below zero with significant lake effect snow.